Okay, so today I'm going to go through a quick walkthrough of how our InStaff to Sage 300 time card integration works. So first thing I'll show you is the integration screen. We'll go into its settings just to take a look at what's available. It works for Canadian and US payroll for Sage 300, and you've got some settings here where you can configure which Sage earnings or deduction code a normal entry goes into, an overtime, and an overtime 2 entry goes into. Below here we've got job related. This essentially will tick off this box on the time card screen and fill in the PJC fields that would pop up once that's checked off. Those can be configured on InStaff based on the fields that we have on the web. So it can be the job number. Well, for this example, we have the contract field mapped to the job number, project field mapped to the task, and the category field mapped to a custom field that we have on InStaff. But for this example, we'll leave that checked off. Over here is just credentials we use to connect to InStaff's API to be able to pull in the time card entries. And you get to pick the status of the entries that you want to bring in. For this example, we'll do approved by accounting. So over here, this is one of the screens on InStaff just showing you the time entries that I'll be bringing in. You've got time entries for 3 employees from October 14th to the 16th. And they've got various things here. They've got, for example, for this employee, Con bar tour, we've got 3 entries, all of them regular hours. So on one day he worked 4 hours, the next 2 days he worked for 8. And for Ernest here, we've got 3 days where he's worked 3 hours on each of them, and on the 15th he worked 2 overtime hours. And the last employee here, Marilyn, she worked 6 hours on the 15th. So I'll just take you over here to the Sage time card entry screen. You can see there's no entries right now. And what we'll do is we'll use this screen so you can select the entire range of employees, or you can bring in just one employee's entries for a particular date range that you have. And I've selected today as my period end, which is October 16th. I'll just run the import. And it'll pop up a log showing what it's done. We'll just close that. We're more interested in the results over here. So you can see it made 3 time cards, 1 for each employee. First one we'll look at, let's take a look at Marilyn, Ellis, and Brian over here. So if you recall down below, she had 6 hours. So on the 15th, she had 6 hours, and the hourly rate will come from her employee profile. For the next entry, we've got Ernest. So for Ernest, we see here on the 14th, he worked 8 hours. His rates get carried over from his employee profile here. So 8 hours on the 14th. On the 15th, he's got 8 hours again, but 2 of them for overtime. And on the 16th, he's got 8 hours. And for the final employee here, we've got 3 entries again. For the first day, the 14th, he's got 4 hours, and for the second and third day, he's got 8 and 8, which matches up with here. And that is how we bring InStaff time entries into Sage 300 time cards.